It's no secret that I'm a big fan of these 8BitDo controllers, and this is the newest one I picked up, this Ultimate C 2.4 gig wireless controller. Picked it up on Prime Day. In this video we're going to check it out. Hey everybody, it's Chris from FamilyGeekery, and today, like I said, we're going to be looking at this 8BitDo Ultimate C 2.4G wireless controller. So it says it works for Windows and Android. It also advertised that it works for Raspberry Pi. We're going to check it out on all three of those, and we're going to test it out on a couple other things just to see if it works. But basically, this is the one of the newest ones in the Ultimate line. You've got the Ultimate, like the Bluetooth one, the one that's got 2.4G, and then you got a wired one, and they're all like $20 difference from each other. I think this is regularly $29.99. The wired version of the same exact one is $19.99. And then when you get into the Ultimate that's not the C, those are the ones that have the software that you can configure all the buttons and stuff, and those get up to $49 and $69 depending on which model you get. So this was a good deal. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the software to control all the buttons and stuff and to configure it. I just want to plug it in, charge it up, and then play it on all the stuff that it says it'll play on. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to test it out in Windows, test it out on Android, test it on Raspberry Pi, and then I'm going to see if it's going to work with anything else. So let's take a look at the rest of the box before we open this thing up. And only thing else on here is on the back, and again it just reiterates Windows, Android, and Raspberry Pi. And it is wireless. It's got a battery in there. It says it charges 5 volts, 500 milliamps. And you can see it's got this adapter here. So that's going to be the 2.4 gig adapter. So it's not Bluetooth capable, but it is capable of playing right to that adapter, which is nice. You don't have to worry about drivers and telling Windows to find it. You just plug it in, and Windows just thinks it's a wired device because it's got that USB input to it. So let's go ahead and open this thing up, and then we're going to start playing with it. So inside the box is what you get. You got the controller with the little protectors on them. That's cute. You got a cable to charge it up, which is USB-C, which is nice. And then you've got the adapter here and the instruction book. And the adapter is a little bit smaller than what I was assuming. You know, you just see the picture on the box and you figure it's the same size as their other adapters. And to give you an idea, here is the adapter that if you're going to be using a PlayStation controller with your Switch or something, then this is the one that you would buy. And you can see that it's quite a bit different in size. But that's cool. It's nice. It's color-coded so you don't forget which one it goes with. And they did have two color choices with this. It was this color here, which I'd call like a mint green, and then they had like a lavender, like a light purple type color. I chose the green one. It's a good-looking device, regardless of color. So now that we know what's inside here, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features that it's got. Now, of course, it's a very well-built, you know, just like all their products. So let's go ahead and take this protective film off the button faces. And I love their buttons. Always have. They've been making great controllers for a long time. I used to buy 8BitDo controllers all the way back when they just made like a look-alike NES controller, when emulation was kind of just getting started on Windows. And I've been buying them ever since. They've been keeping up with the trends. So this is no different. Got good button placement everywhere. It's got a textured feeling on the back here. So on the back grips on both of these sides here is textured. Smooth everywhere else. And of course it fits good in your hands. You've got kind of this 8BitDo button here, which is going to be kind of like your Xbox button or home button or something. And then you got some plus and minus and a star. Got a D-pad. 2 analog controllers, 2 L1 R1s, 2 L trigger, R trigger, and then of course your ABXY, kind of in the Xbox configuration. Only one other real input to this thing, and that's going to be the charging adapter. And this USB-C cable can plug into charge, or you can use a USB-C cable to just plug it right into your computer and use it as a wired controller also. I like that option. Just in case you're sitting right next to your computer or laptop and you don't need to be wireless, you can go ahead and take that extra step and take that tiny bit of latency out. Now with it being 2.4 gigahertz instead of Bluetooth, it is going to have a little bit better response than Bluetooth controller would. But if you want to get just a little bit better, then you can go ahead and plug in the cable. So now that we got that all the way, I think the next step is plugging this thing into something and using it. Alright, so first up is using a Windows PC. Actually, this is just a laptop. This is the Huawei 2018 MateBook X, and I've done videos on this before. I love it. It's nice and skinny. Not the highest performing laptop out there, but one thing I like about it, it's so tiny. It's got an awesome screen, and it's got a full-size USB. So no dongle needed, just plug the adapter right in, and it's good to go. Now, I'm just running this through Steam, and oddly enough, the first game that I tried just didn't work at all with the controller. So I could get the controller to work in Windows, I could get the controller to work in Steam, I put it in big picture mode, I put the, I was able to control everything, get into the game, and everything except for actually playing the game. There's just no response at all. Now, it's obviously isolated to that game because it seems to be working just fine here. And I played around with all the settings on that other game, just couldn't figure it out. So installed this real quick, and it's working just fine. Now, I'll be the first to admit that maybe Goat Simulator is not the best game to figure out if the controls are extremely precise or not. But it's actually very responsive. I am using it over the 2.4 gig, and everything's working fine. All the buttons are working, and I don't see any kind of input lag at all. So again, the controller is comfortable in the hands, it's responsive, it's working. What more could you ask for? And all this at a great price for a wireless controller. So let's go ahead and try out something else next. Alright, next up, for an Android device, I went ahead and just grabbed this Logitech G Cloud. Figured it was an up-to-date Android device, and I already had some games on it, so that was an easy choice. So in this case, this doesn't have a full-size USB port, of course, so I do have to use the USB-C port down here, and I just use a little USB-C hub adapter, and I've got the adapter plugged in down here. And now in the instructions that I did read, they're not very long, but I did read through them a little bit. It shows that you have to press Start and X, so what they're calling startup here, Start and X at the same time to start this up for X input mode, so on your Windows, and then X and B to start it up if you're using Raspberry Pi or Android. So I'd hit the Start and B, plug this in, and right in the menu itself, just the operating system of the G Cloud, it just worked right away. So I was able to navigate over to the game, launch the game, and then just start playing some GTA 3 right away. No controller setup or anything. It was just ready to go. Interested to find out if this also works at the same time. I guess it's smart enough to know that I'm using a different controller. So everything seems to be working just fine. This is an older game, but it's a game that I like to play on the run. You know, nice and portable version of GTA without having to worry about gaming computer or anything. Just right on an Android tablet, and this G Cloud works just fine with it. So I'm gonna say that this works just great, and I think any other kind of Android device, hopefully it should just work right out of the box. So let's try the Raspberry Pi next. Alright, next up I wanted to try out the Raspberry Pi, and instead of grabbing a Raspberry Pi and a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor and everything, I just grabbed this Pi top here that I put together. I did a video about this. If you want to see that, I'll link it up there somewhere. And this is, like I said, this is just a laptop that's got a Raspberry Pi built right in underneath the keyboard, and just installed Pico 8 because this is just a Raspberry Pi 3, so it's not super strong. But just wanted to see, again, just plug this thing in, plugged in the wireless adapter in the back, turned it on again with the Home plus B, and just wanted to see if it worked. And just as soon as I got into Explorer, which is the Explorer for Pico 8, it just worked. So Pico 8 by default just has 4 directions and 2 buttons, so I'm not going to be able to, you know, check all the buttons, but just right out of the box it works. So you can't ask for a bit more than that. Didn't have to download any kind of drivers on Raspberry Pi, didn't have to configure anything, just plugged it in and started the game, and it just worked. So that's good. So that's the 3 systems that it shows right in the box that it works with. Windows, Raspberry Pi, and Android. So let's go ahead and try something else just to see if anything else works with it. Alright, so I tried a couple more things, and from what I can tell with my testing, the box is actually pretty truthful. I tried this controller with an iOS device. So I tried with an iPad that has a USB-C adapter in it. I tried both with the wireless dongle going through like one of these USB-C to USB-A adapters, and it didn't work. I tried going straight into the iPad with the wire, and that didn't work either. So I also tried a MacBook. I've tried a MacBook Air M1 version, and when I plug everything in, it pops up the little accessibility control, and it says, hey, would you like the 8BitDo Ultimate C 2.4G controller to access your computer? And so it fully recognized it, and I said yes, allow, and still didn't work. So it could be just something that I'm trying, or it could just be the fact that they know that this thing only works with the 3 systems that they said, the Android, the Windows, and the Raspberry Pi. So let me know down in the comments below if you've got one of these and you tried it out with a different type of system that wasn't listed and it worked, and let me know how you got it to work. Or if there's something else that you'd like me to try it with, then I'll be happy to test that out also. But that's basically it for this video. I just got this in and wanted to test it out and see how it worked, and again, always impressed by the products that 8BitDo make. They're always high quality, and they're always pretty much plug and play for the systems that they list, and in this case that's exactly the truth. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you want to see more stuff like this, check out the rest of the channel. I've got lots of other controller reviews, and if you see some more stuff you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But thank you again for watching, and until next time, peace out and geek out.